Good morning, Bentendo here. Well, I'm in survival mode right now, and this morning I was playing Super Mario 3D World, which is one of my absolute favorite video games, and I realized as I was playing it that it feels really good to play it. And I don't want to delve into self-pity while I talk about this, okay? I want to talk about my situation without self-pity in a really objective way. So, I'm in survival mode right now. Things are not like totally bleak. I have a home to live in. It's a trailer. I have a job, although the hours were scaled back recently. I have, it's interesting, like when I have credit card debts, and I'm 6 months recovering from a substance abuse problem, and like a lot of things in my life are kind of up in the air right now. So if you have ever been in a situation like this where you're worrying about money and about survival and about how am I gonna pay the rent next month and things like that, I feel like things are not quite that bad for me because I have a little bit of money in my accounts, for a couple months rent. And I'm really blessed. Before I didn't have anyone before that would be willing to let me live with them, but I think now that I'm doing better, I do actually have someone who I might even move in with, a friend of mine who said she's going to talk to her family and make sure it's okay with them because she has one son that lives with her also. But anyway, these are the things you think about when you're kind of in survival mode. And I had to scramble to get a new job, and I don't have a lot of time to just sort of relax and enjoy life, but I do create time to play my video games. It's kind of my go-to, actually, like when I have free time and I want to just kind of relax and enjoy myself. And I actually do it every morning before work for about an hour, after I get ready and have my shower and everything, kind of as a reward for getting up at 5 o'clock. I play video games for an hour. And one thing that was occurring to me this morning as I was playing Super Mario 3D World, which is really one of my absolute favorite games. I cannot recommend that game highly enough. You can download it on the Switch. It's available on the Switch. It's a few years old, but it's just one of those classic games that just never gets old. It's so good. I could talk about it forever, how much I love it. But what I was thinking as I was playing it is that video games are interesting because they're kind of they're full of challenges, right? Your survival is always in question, So it's interesting that right now, while my life is not being threatened, I'm not about to die, although sometimes I wish I could just die. I've actually been thinking a lot about that. Dying would almost be easier than having to deal with all this stress. But my point is just that when you're worrying about how you're going to pay the bills and you're kind of in survival mode, for me, I find that video games resonate with me even more because I'm kind of living that situation in the game where I've got to be aware of this and aware of that, and this thing might fall down on me, and it's a very kind of direct, maybe not totally direct, but indirect kind of metaphor, mirror of our lives when we're struggling. And life is always a struggle, I believe. I mean, it doesn't always need to be, but even when I've had plenty of money and felt happy in my situation, there's always seemed to be something I was kind of struggling with. But right now, it's interesting because I've been getting into video games a lot more than I had for a few years. It's been about 15 years that I got back into them as an adult, but for the past few years I wasn't playing as much. But I think that now that I'm in survival mode in my real life, video games are suddenly kind of a little bit more essential for my emotional survival, because they give me kind of an escape from the stress. Because, you know, you can't just sit in your stressful feelings all day and just, you know, do. Like, sometimes you need to kind of withdraw from all that and just relax and enjoy. So I appreciate that a video game gives me a chance to kind of be in that situation that's not, you know, it's an escape from my stress, but it is stressful in its own way. And I guess what the magic of it is that it makes me able to kind of think about things in life as a game and as play and as a challenge rather than as a stressor. And my life is very stressed right now, and I'm gonna, like I said, I want to be so cautious to not get into self-pity, because self-pity is pointless, right? I mean, poor me doesn't really help me at all. I really just need to live in the solution. But things are getting better, you know. Staying clean and sober is just the most important part of all of this. And I actually quit smoking cigarettes 18 days ago, so that's feels really good too. And I'm actually not even really craving them, which is weird. Like, when I smell them, it's weird because suddenly the smell is like extremely strong to me. Like, there was a cigarette butt in the garbage can and I felt like I could smell it from across the room. But also didn't feel like I wanted to smoke, so that was kind of cool. Anyway, yeah, video games are great. They are very helpful, and I had this little weird moment this morning where I thought, do we really need art? Do we really need, like, does art just give us ideals that make us feel inadequate or whatever? But I realized that video games are an art form, and for me a very important art form. And, you know, just like ancient Greek theater or, you know, great literature or any great art form, great music, I believe that art is essential for our survival. And video games are very, very helpful to help me survive this life and the challenges I face today, in this very moment today. And actually playing the game makes my real life challenges seem a little bit more approachable, and it allows me to think of them as something I can just pounce on. Like, I can be like Mario and just blast on through those bricks. All right? Well, remember that you are loved, and I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.